Welcome to the Old Classic Car channel. This video comprises 125 photos of classic rally cars taking part in historic rallies and at motorsport oriented shows over the last 15 years or so. A second video featuring a further 125 images of historic rally cars in action and at rest will be uploaded and linked to at the end of this video. Okay, to begin with we have an Austin A40 Farina Mk1 prepared for historic rallying. That's swiftly followed by Ford Escort RS 2000. And here, at Race Retro a few years ago, is TGC 345E, which is a 1966 Alfa Romeo Giulia 2000. And here we have a Volvo 140 series taking an early bath. Talking of muddy puddles and baths, here's a Mark II Escort in the Rothmans colours. And the four-door Volvo Amazon, one of several Volvo 120 series cars that will feature in this collection of rally car photos. And here's another popular choice, the Mark I or Mark II Mini Cooper and an MGB Roadster. GFA 217 is a 1957 Standard 10 with the 1296 Spitfire or Herald engine in it. Here we've got a side view of a Datsun 240Z from 1972. And this is an Alfa Giulia saloon being put through its paces on a historic rally stage a few years back. And another popular choice in old car rallying, this is a Volvo PV544. And a Vauxhall Chevette alongside an Opel Manta at Race Retro some years back. And here we've got 977 ARX, which is an X-Works Mini Cooper S, which was driven to third place in the 1963 Monte Carlo by Rauno Aaltonen, and he was behind the wheel there. And this is a replica of a Works TR4. And a left-hand drive Porsche 911. Vauxhall Chevette HS or HSR. Trio of classic rally cars there, Cortina, Lotus Cortina Mark I, Escort Mexico and a BMW 2002. And we've got a Mark II Mini Cooper, Mark I Escort, a side view of a Audi Quattro, and a Volvo PV544 at speed. Three classic rally cars, two Mark II Escorts and the aforementioned 977 ARX X-Works Mini Cooper S. There's a 911 being given some beans. There is a 1964 Volvo P1800S with an MGB in the foreground. BMW 2002. There's a Sunbeam Alpine, the Le Mans, Harrington Le Mans car, giving its mini-light wheels a workout, another Volvo. There's a Triumph Dolomite, possibly a Sprint. A Ford Anglia 105E rally car from 1966. A Mini driving onto a concrete ramp, rear suspension compressed, front up in the air at speed. And there's a Ford Sierra Cosworth. And there is an Austin A40 Mark II, the Farina car of the early to mid 1960s. There's a Triumph 2000 Mark I negotiating a cone on an auto test section on the Tour of Cheshire a few years ago. And TGT 81M is a 1972 manufacture Alfa Romeo GT Junior, a 1600. And staying with Italy, we have a Lancia Fulvia. Another Mini, this time a Mark II. An MGB GT, complete with Webasto folding sunroof. OCM 641J, that's a Mark III Mini, 1971, 1275cc, possibly a Mini Cooper. And this is a Volkswagen Type 3, the notchback variety, prepared for rallying. And there's Russell Brooks, who sadly died in 2019 with one of his Opel Mantas, the Andrews Hire sponsored car. And that RDF 783 is a 1956 Austin Westminster of all things, with the 2.6 litre engine. This is a replica of the Lancia Stratos of the 1970s. There's a trio of rally cars there, headed by a Porsche 911, followed by an Amazon and an MGB. This is a Sierra Cosworth with an Austin Maxi rally car in the background. And a Saab 99, bringing back memories of the old 99 turbos competing in rallies back in the late 70s and early 80s. There's that 1964 Volvo P1800S again, with the cow horn bumpers, an early car. A pair of rally cars, an Audi Quattro and the Talbot Sunbeam. That was at Race Retro. Side view, another Volvo PV. And an Austin-Healey 3000 at rest. This was on the 2005 Rally of the Tests at a halt. And a tour of Cheshire. This is a Citroen DS on its door handles on an auto test stage. The Volvo 144 on later 240 GLT alley wheels. And the RS 2000 leaves the line. Sierra Cosworth enjoying the sunshine prior to a demonstration run. The 4-door Mark II Escort. An MGB. There's a Cortina Lotus based on the Ford Cortina Mark II. There's a Mark II Austin A40 leading a 1965 Austin Cooper through a particularly large puddle. And there's an ex-Carlos Sainz Lewis Moya Lancia Delta Integrale. The Reliant Scimitar SE4 Coupe. And this gem is a Jaguar XK120 drop head coupe. A Gulf Colours Porsche 911. And a Triumph GT6, 6-cylinder version of the Spitfire with a fixed coupe roof. Close up of a 911. And there's probably a Sprite Mark II, I think. Certainly a Sprigget with a Mark I Ford Escort. And here we have the Hillman Hunter that won the London to Sydney Rally way back in 1968. There's a Triumph 2.5 litre PI which competed in the 1970 World Cup Rally but crashed out in the Andes. An Austin A40 Mark II. Popular choice with the historic rallying fraternity, as is this car, the Big Healey, the Austin-Healey 3000. Not so many vintage cars in historic rallying nowadays, but here's a Bentley being given some exercise. A pair of Minis at speed. Side view of an Alfa Romeo GTV. Another of Porsche's finest. Another Mark II Escort. And here's BRX 852B, which I believe is the X-Works car from 1964. Driven on a couple of rallies back then, once by Paddy Hopkirk and the other time by Timo Mäkinen. There's another Talbot Sunbeam Lotus. Austin or Morris 1800. And the livery of Team Thailand. The Mark II Mini at speed. The Volkswagen Beetle. Continuing with this collection of rally car photos, we've got a 1965 Volvo Amazon 4-door testing its tyres at high speed. There's another view, a head-on view of 977 ARX, the ex-Rano Altonen Mini Cooper, the Morris Mini Cooper S. There's the rally plaque on display inside the rear window. The 1963 Rally of Monte Carlo. There's an Escort. An Alpine Renault, one of the most stylish rally cars of the last few decades, I think. There's another photo of an Andrews Hire Opel Manta. Side view of a Hillman Imp being given some welly. The Triumph 2000 Mk1 in the background, and here we have a rally prepared Mercedes, one of the fin-tail cars, probably the late 1950s, on an Irish registration, followed by a BMW 2002. There's that Alfa again, JWE6J, which is a 1750 GTV. The Rally 1.5. Here's the Audi S1, Quattro short wheelbase car. TWC 428K, there's a Vauxhall Magnum, 2.3 litre, kicking up the dust. And there's another one of the Datsun Z cars, 240 or a 260Z. There's a Hillman, a Minx or a Hunter. And presumably this is an ex-Colin McRae Nicky Grist Subaru. And this rarity is a Fiat 2300S Coupe from 1965. There's a rear view of a 911, a car that often cleans up in historic rallies, hence their popularity, and another popular choice for their sturdiness if nothing else, and their tunability is the Volvo Amazon. Here's a four-door car. And this unusual machine is a Datsun 510, the 1400cc saloon from 1971, and a slightly unusual choice in historic rallying, a Pagoda Mercedes, a 280 SL. And here we've got a works replica Mini Cooper 528 EMO, the head-on view of a Mark II Escort being demonstrated. There's another RS2000 being driven as it should be. And there's a Renault 5 Turbo 2 rear engine car. Side view of an ex-Roger Clark and Sterling Moss MGB, presumably that took part in the Pirelli Classic Marathon. And here we've got a Sunbeam badged Hillman Avenger GT. Four-door Amazon. 1966 car, a Triumph Dolomite Sprint, a 911 heads an Alfa Romeo as they negotiate past a Mark I Cortina. And there's a Mark I Escort leaving the line at a demonstration run at Race Retro, and an MGB GT leads a Triumph 2000 Mark I through a water splash. There's a 1965 Austin Mini Cooper S Mark I, taking part on an auto test section of a classic rally. And here we have a Porsche 356 Coupe. Two classic rally cars, both Fords, Mark I Escort. And an RS200 with body panels by Reliant. And upholding the tradition of 1950s British car rallying, we have a Rover P4. And here is the car that opened off this set of photographs, a Mark I A40 724EHY, and a very smartly turned out Mark II Escort at an evening meet not far from here a few years back, and a lovely Lancia Fulvia. Now this is a Lancia 037, the Lancia Rally 037. Is it a real car or is it a tribute car? Perhaps you could let me know in the comments. This is definitely real. A very road-going Renault 5 on Gordini alley wheels. There's a Volvo PV with a Datsun in the background, or a Nissan. And a Rothmans Porsche. Rounding out this part 1 section of rally car photos, a Sunbeam Tiger. Part 2 will be along very soon. I'll include a link to it at the end of this video. Thanks for watching. I hope these rally car photos were of interest. They were all photographed by myself over the last 15 or 16 years or so. I've tried to include as many as I could. Please make sure you catch the second part of this collection when I get it uploaded. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, etc, etc. Bye bye.